Bobby, did you eyes go bad since our last meeting? Are you?
I always wear contacts.
Gentlemen, you ready?
I have
I do
appointment
too.
twice
Yeah.
before. So
Okay.
yeah, they're bad.
Yeah.
The meeting of the Board of Ellis County Commissioners will now come to order. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, could you call the roll, Bobby?
Commissioner Joe LaRue,
Here.
Chair Butch Schleier,
Present.
Commissioner Neil Younger.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Okay. There's no changes, I don't believe, to the order of business, and we will have 3 executive sessions this evening. Prior minutes. Commissioners, did you get a chance to review the prior minutes?
Yes.
Any changes or anything? Okay. Minutes will stand as submitted. The consent agenda, do I hear a motion for the consent agenda?
Also move.
What?
Also move.
You move? Is there a second?
I got a second.
We have a motion and a second for the consent agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Issues from persons not on the order of business. Well, no one's jumping up, so, okay. Are there any new employees this evening?
Good evening, Jackie Shoemaker, HR Coordinator for Ellis County. I've got 2 new team members here with us this evening that I'd like to introduce you to. I have Scott Morgan, and he joined us as the Environmental Services Technician on Valentine's Day. And just let you take a moment if there's anything you'd like to ask him, but Scott, your commissioner.
Thank you for the opportunity to work for Ellis County. I'm learning some new things. Get it going.
Perfect. And then we have Christina Hernandez Morales, and she is an administrative assistant with the Health Department, and she also joined us on February 14th this year as well.
Thank you also for the opportunity to work in this field, and I look forward for what's to come.
Sure.
Okay.
Happy to have you.
Are you enjoying things so far?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, welcome aboard.
Thank you, guys.
Welcome aboard.
And then we also had one other team member join us. He wasn't able to be here tonight, but David Chi has joined our IT department as the IT support technician, and hopefully you'll get to meet him in an upcoming meeting. So thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you, Jackie. Okay, the next agenda item is the Environmental Services Interim Director appointment.
Good evening, Commission. Darren Myers, County Administrator. Tonight before you is the option to appoint a interim director for the Environmental Services Office. As the Commission is aware, at your last meeting, the Mason Reuter, the current Environmental Services Director, submitted his resignation effective just this last Friday. And with that, we have to appoint a new interim director for the position, which is a board-appointed position. And serving in the current role as the Assistant Director is Justin Craig, which is here somewhere tonight, if he wants to come up. And if the Commission would like to ask him any questions or anything, but we would need a motion to approve his appointment.
Okay. Well, Justin, are you excited to be the
Yeah,
the
very
director out
excited.
there?
Very excited, very grateful for the opportunity. I feel like we have a good team out there and get a great support staff, and just looking forward to the challenge.
I think commissioners generally, what we look at is we'll make an interim appointment for a couple of months just to make sure everything goes right, and then we can finalize that appointment as a permanent appointment after that date if everything's to our liking. Any questions for Justin?
Just comment, I was on the Ellis County Planning Development. I worked with Justin, so you'll fit fine. Just don't run. Stay in here.
Joe?
Mason had really good things to say about you, so we're excited to see you take this opportunity on.
Yeah, I'm thankful. Yeah, Mason was a great teacher, so hopefully I can continue to learn from him. I'm sure I'll call him.
Okay. Would one of you commissioners like to make a motion on
I'll
this?
move to appoint Justin Craig as the interim director for the Environmental Services Department.
And I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion passes, 3-0.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you.
Okay, the next agenda item is the Health Department Medical Director contract. Kim?
I think we skipped an agenda item there, Mr. Chair.
What's that?
The public health officer appointment,
Number 7.
number 7,
Oh,
which is
excuse
Kim
me.
anyway, but
Okay, the Public Health Officer appointment.
as
I guess I scratched that out before I got to it.
getting too excited.
Okay,
Before you tonight, it's a similar position that we just got over with, but as the commission is aware, Jason Kennedy left employment with the county, and he was the public health officer, which the commission had appointed in that position. With the transition of Kim being the health administrator a few months ago, Jason continued to be the public health officer to kind of keep a constant voice with Ellis County and to the public, to the schools, as we kind of hopefully got to the backside of COVID and was able to allow Kim some time as the interim director and then become appointed the director until she fulfilled the duties, if she would so choose to be the public health officer. I didn't have to twist her arm too much. She's still willing to do so. And with that, we would just need an appointment as well. If you would still like to proceed with Kim Rill as being the public health officer for the county.
well, Kim, have you been the acting Public Health Officer?
No, Jason has remained to be the public health officer since,
Okay, is he still doing that right now?
as far as I know, yes.
Oh, okay. It's a challenging position.
Yes, it is.
Are you ready for it?
Sure, why not?
I know, once the COVID thing goes away, it'll be a lot nicer.
Yes, that's
So-
correct.
Commissioners, you have questions for Kim?
Some good comments when I met with her and
Mhm.
visited with her. What a positive attitude you have. You fit right in, so keep it up.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've appreciated the reports you've emailed us, but I love spreadsheets, so.
I'm a spreadsheet girl, so yeah.
Okay. Do I hear a motion from one of you gentlemen?
Yeah, I'll move to appoint Kim Rill as public health officer for Ellis County.
And I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. You are the Public Health Officer, Kim.
Thank you.
Can I also make one statement, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Just in recognition, not only of Kim for her good work and filling in for Jason, but I'd also like just to publicly acknowledge appreciation of Jason Kennedy that he provided to Ellis County with his employment for the county, as well as his stance that he took with COVID for the last 2 years, trying to keep our community united on the same front, keeping our kids as well as we could safe in school and continued school. And I think he did a good job, and I just wanted to, once again, thank him for his service to the county and give that acknowledgement out there for him.
Yeah,
Wish him well for his
absolutely.
new career.
He went above and beyond as our Public Health Officer. Okay, we will move on. The Health Department Medical Director contract. Kim?
Okay. Good evening. Kim Rill, Director of the Ellis County Health Department. So the first agenda item tonight is to discuss a 6% COLA increase, which would equate to $48 a month for our medical director, Dr. Tanya Knoll. Her new salary would be $848 per month going forward. Dr. Knoll has done an outstanding job here in Ellis County as our medical director. Throughout the past 2 years of the COVID pandemic, she has been a source of information and guidance for all of us. Dr. Knoll's been an asset to our organization and to our community. Her dedication and time have been critical in ensuring that the Ellis County Health Department continues to provide the highest level of care. The increase would be $576 per year in addition to any cost of living increases that the commission approves in the future. This amount will be absorbed into the 2022 Health Department budget, and then will be added to the 2023 budget going forward.
Okay. I believe, Commissioners, we did discuss this earlier about giving our medical directors, both for the Public Health Department and EMS,
Yeah.
the COLA increases. And and it's well-earned, I'm sure. Any questions for Kim regarding this?
I have none.
Okay. Joe, would you like to make a motion on that?
Sure. I move that the Ellis County Commission approve a 6% COLA pay increase of $48 per month for the position of medical director for the Ellis County Health Department, which is the same as what has been approved for all Ellis County employees. This modification will go into effect in April 2022.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Okay, and the next agenda item is the Health Department grants. Kim?
Okay, so every year we have to do a grant application and budget. The grant application does run from July to June of every year, so this is actually due this coming Thursday, the 10th. Just a brief description of each of the grants that we currently have at the Health Department. For the new commissioners, we have the Immunization Action Plan, which works with local health departments and other healthcare providers to increase immunization, which reduces or eliminates vaccine-preventable diseases that cause disability and death. That's been one of our staples for many years in the Health Department. The second one is the Phep Grant, or the Public Health Emergency Preparedness. Again, it's another staple that we do every year in the Health Department. This specific grant allows us to oversee developing and implementing a comprehensive emergency distribution program for the county. It ensures us to be prepared to handle any emergency operations in times of crisis. We do collaborate with KDHE as well as the CDC and the Northwest Kansas Healthcare Coalition in regards to this grant. We have quarterly meetings that we do go over, so we make sure that we are prepared to handle what comes forward to us. And then the state formula grant is also a staple for the Health Department. This is what I would consider a multi-use grant. It's very flexible. As you can see, it's used for administrative time, policy development support, communicable disease control, health promotion, chronic disease and injury prevention, maternal child health, as well as access to clinical care. And then we move into our COVID grants. These grants specifically are going to be used to build, expand, train, and to keep the public health staff in place to help jurisdictions with COVID-19 prevention, response, and recovery efforts. Some of these grants will run out this year in November of 2022, and some of the other grants that we are dealing with will run out at the end of 2023. So we have a staffing infrastructure grant that Jason actually had applied for that to help us with any extra staffing needs as we worked our way through COVID. We also have the optional opportunities, which is 2 grants combined into one. It's a care resource coordination and expanded testing. And then we have an expanding infrastructure grant. Now within the care resource coordination and the expanded testing, this grant could potentially provide us, with your approval, a remodel of a portion of the health department, which would create better flow and operation for both patients and office staff. I personally have been working with KDHE to move several sections of the grant down into the remodel portion, or about $213,000. Commercial Builders was generous enough to spend some time with us to develop the attached rendering of what the remodel will be, which is about 30% of our office space currently at the health department. This grant would cover nearly all the costs of the remodel if you were to approve moving forward with the grant application. If approved, staff would also develop and request bids to complete the work before the deadline of the grant, which this grant specifically does expire in November of 2022. As far as the financial impact, as I stated, most of that would cover the remodel. Because of these COVID grants, we've been able to respond in a timely and cost-effective manner thanks to their resources that we have received thus far. Again, the COVID grants will be depleted by 2023. However, the IAP, the state formula, and the Phep grants currently cover a very large portion of our personnel costs, and they account for a large portion of our financial stability. Do you have any questions?
Commissioners, do you have any questions regarding these grants?
I do not.
Okay, I'm familiar with all of those except for the new ones with COVID. Okay, I will make a motion to approve the 2023 grant application for the Ellis County Health Department offered to the State of Kansas Department of Health and Environment. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Okay, then we come down here again. Okay, Kim, Health Office Conference attendance.
Okay, so I can finally say that there's light at the end of the tunnel coming out of this pandemic. For the first time in, I believe, 3 years, KDHE is putting on the 2022 Kansas Governor's Public Health Conference for all health departments. This will be from March 29th through the 31st in Manhattan. What I am asking for is to see if you guys would approve us closing the health department so all of our staff can attend this conference. We do have new staff. This would allow for new training, as well as a complete full day for me as a new director. It's arranged by Wichita State University. It's going to be hosted at the Manhattan Conference Center. It will provide continuing education for nursing staff, new leader orientation, and then there's an entire day, or I'm sorry, 2 days of breakout sessions where we can choose to attend those as well. There is no financial impact. As I told Darren last week, we were awarded an additional $7,000 through the state formula grant that would help cover these costs, which would be around $3,000. So there would be no financial impact to the health department. Any questions?
No questions. I'll make a comment. Under normal circumstances, I would never want to see any of our departments close up for 3 days.
Correct.
I don't think that's right to the public. When I consider what the health department has went through with the change of staff, and I am very much aware of the Kansas, or the Governor's Public Health Conference. I've attended that conference in the past myself. And it's a good conference. There's a lot of breakout sessions, lots of information's presented. And I do think, Commissioners, this could be very good for the health department staff, since they are, many of them now are new to the program, and it can be very beneficial. Questions?
Just comment on ongoing training is excellent. Yeah, you're going to be gone for a couple of days. What would happen if electricity, or we'd have a big water leak in there and you had to stay out for 3 days? At least now we're getting education for our community, and
Right.
I see it too as I go to a lot of that stuff, and what I don't pick up, maybe the next one will, and then you can share it and bring it back to us. So,
Right.
yep, I'm very supportive of that.
Thank you.
Any comments, Joe?
I just think shutting down for the 2 to 3 days if needed is going to ultimately better serve the public going forward than the interruption of service might hurt services. So I'm supportive as well.
Okay. Do I hear a motion for this?
I'll move to allow the Ellis County Health Department to close March 29th through the 31st to allow staff to attend the Health Department conference.
I'll second that motion. We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Okay, Kim.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Kim.
Hang in there now.
I will.
Okay, jail rates. Scott?
Good evening, Commissioners. Scott Brown, Ellis County Sheriff. So before you have an agenda for a change in the rate of what we're currently receiving for inmates. This came about from KDOC sent out a letter asking if we are going to have an increase in our rates, and that prompted us to review our numbers that we are currently charging for KDOC and other municipalities. And we found that We were at a deficit of that based upon what we offer, and Ellis County offers a lot to our inmates. So with our medical staff and food and lodging and the cost of inflation, we find that if we were to move that, if you were to agree to that at $65 a day, it would not be a generating, be a neutral, budget neutral, but it would help offset some of that cost a little bit. We wouldn't be losing that. So how it works is once that person is sentenced by our courts, the clock starts ticking. In KDOC, we bill them and they pay us from that day. So if they're with us for 10 days, 15 days, or 20 days, we'll receive $65 a day. We would currently we're receiving $40 a day. So I'm asking that you consider the increase to $65 to help offset that budget a little bit.
Okay, and now this is for inmates that are sentenced. It's not pretrial inmates.
Correct. They'd have to be sentenced. You're correct.
Okay.
KDOC. And currently, we don't house for any municipalities. Ellis and Victoria don't do it, and within our contract that we have with the city of Hayes, we don't charge, so that it really wouldn't affect that. But should that occur, we would be able to charge them $65 a day.
And the inmates generally are billed this?
The inmates, no, sir. Inmates are at our cost, county tax dollars.
Okay, who pays the $65 a day?
You commissioners, when you set my budget, they would. The KDOC would pay that $65 back to
Okay.
us. Yes, sir.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay. Any questions, commissioners?
How long has it been at 40?
I knew somebody was going to ask me that, so it's between 10 and 12 years. I reached out to somebody that knew ballpark, and that's what we came up with.
It's time then.
Yeah, and it may increase again because we are going to have some contracts, well, I should say if you approve it, we are going to have some contracts that are going to be coming up for negotiation in the near future, within the year or so, and so you may see me back in front of you giving you some more numbers so you can make that decision whether you want to adjust that again, okay?
Okay. Okay, is there a motion for this?
Sure. I move to approve the increase of the housing of inmates for outside municipalities in KDOC from $40 per day to $65 per day.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Okay, the National Heritage Foundation, 30 by 30. Bill?
Thank you. Bill Jeter, County Councilor. Back in January 27th of 2021, President Biden issued an executive order to directing the Secretary of Agriculture and Secretary of Interior to develop a program to conserve at least 30% of the lands and waters in the United States by 2030, hence the 30-30 program. It was set up an area called the Kansas-Nebraska Heritage Area, which consisted of 49 counties in Kansas and Nebraska to start implementing that program. The County Commission back on May 3rd of 2021 adopted a resolution number R-2021-09 expressing their opposition to this program and the inclusion of Ellis County in the Kansas-Nebraska Heritage Area Partnership. I've been provided by Commissioner Younger, and there's been some circulation of new actually they're not new resolutions, but it's a resolution form which doesn't specifically address the Kansas-Nebraska Heritage Area, but it does address opposition to the 30 by 30 program, which I think you've already done a year ago. But I mean, if you wish to do that again, I can certainly prepare another resolution. Keep in mind that it has no legal effect or impact. It's only your public statement as an opposition to that program.
Right, it does not have any forbearing on any landowner or anything like that.
No.
They could still negotiate with the federal government if they wanted to.
That's true.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions?
Nope. Thank you for the research and
Okay.
staying on top of it.
Okay. I guess something we'll just think about and discuss later, if we need to. Okay. Moving on then, the Ellis County burn ban.
Good evening, Commissioners. Director of Fire and Emergency Management, Darren Myers. Before you tonight, just a discussion I'd like to have about whether or not to implement the burn ban in Ellis County. As the Commission is aware, back in January, we updated the resolution that was established, I believe, back in 2016, as to allowing the fire chief to implement, lift the burn ban whenever the fire chief would so choose. We did update that resolution to allow in a burn ban the homeowners in the unincorporated areas of the county to burn trash, household waste in a barrel no bigger than 55 gallons with a screen over top to protect it. So that way homeowners could still burn their trash at the time of a burn ban. Shortly after that resolution was passed, there was snow on the ground, and the commission at the time were receiving several phone calls about lifting the ban, and at that point it was. Currently, we do not have a burn ban in the county, and as the commission is aware, over this past weeks or so, actually over this last weekend, we had fire crews out all 3 days on fires. And over the weekend as well, you saw the big fire down in Reno and Harvey County. The threat is still out there for wildland fires. We are, to this point, over 2 inches below normal precipitation. And I looked at the forecast today. There's still no significant chance of any moisture for the next couple of weeks. I would just like to have that discussion with the commission. And I think I explained to you each today is when the burn ban is not in place, I always get the phone calls from the public that they want it in place. And then once we put it in place, the commissioners are the ones that get the phone calls that they want the burn ban lifted. What I would ask is, as the fire chief, as well as on behalf of the dispatch center, the confusion is created when we implement and then lift and then re-implement the burn ban, just because we get a minimal amount of rainfall in the county. So if we do implement the burn ban and let that out to the public, I would suggest that we implement it and let it ride until we actually do get some green grass growing, the foliage starts to turn, and we actually get some moisture, not just a 100th here and 100th there, or 10th or a quarter inch, because we are very dry and it's progressing. And the month of March here is the worst month forecasted for the year for those fires. So I have no problem implementing the burn ban. I just wanted to have that discussion with the commission to make sure that the commission was in favor that if we do implement it, we keep it in place until we do have significant moisture, which could be throughout the month of March, it's looking at least. Stand for any questions, or sit for any questions, I guess.
So I guess the fire chief does recommend implementing a burn ban at this point.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And if we implement the burn ban, if you implement the burn ban, we could leave that burn ban on until such time as the fire chief is satisfied that the burn ban can be lifted. It shouldn't necessarily be up to the Board of Commissioners to be satisfied, but the fire chief.
And I wouldn't, and implement it, I don't try to put restrictions on the public for any longer than necessary, but
Right.
once we do have that moisture, I'm gonna be happy just as much as any farmer in the county, or any resident, and lift it as soon as we possibly can.
Sure. Commissioners, do you have questions for Darren?
As I can say, I'm supportive of that, Darren. Just yesterday, there was 12,000 acres, and one couple had to jump in their pond to
Yep.
survive. So, yeah, we gotta do that.
Sounds like a plan, Darren.
Okay. I'll issue a press release and we'll put it in place starting tomorrow for the foreseeable future, and if anything changes, we'll get it lifted when we can.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, the next is the county administrator report. Darren?
The only thing I have for the commission tonight, as you saw before the meeting started, I handed each of you the budget book. Finally got that done, so you can start reviewing that and making notes as we start getting into our budget season. Our current budget policy usually starts when we start discussion about the future year's budget in March of each year. As we found out last year, we implemented the pay raises before we started the budget process, which significantly reduces the amount of time that we need to spend on the budget, as well as our financial situation has changed in the years past. So with that, I was just going to let the commission know that the first week in April, we'll probably start looking at the budget forecast and look and see how we're at this year, where we're at next year, and how last year impacted our future. And then maybe the second or the third meeting in April, we'll ask for direction from the commission in regards to what you would like our department heads and elected officials to work towards for budget goals for 2023. And I was making sure that initial process was okay, and if it is, I'll start putting together our budget calendar for this year as we can start laying that out.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yep. That's all I got.
Okay. County Commission reports. Neil?
Yes, I did attend a school board luncheon. Darren and a lot of people were at that. And I also did go to the Ellis County Planning and Development meeting, and I got some good feedback from some people that visited the Register of Deeds, so I'd like to thank them because they were nothing but pleased and happy when they come out of there, and they said, you talk about a job to have to do is that, and there's a lot involved in that. So, and then on the APL 40 report, I seen how many different fires and people were away from their family, and I would like to thank them for their services and all the county employees for doing a good job. That's all I have.
Okay. Commissioner Joe?
I had the chance to visit with the county attorney's office and the Heartland Community Foundation.
Okay. And I have no report this evening. We'll look at executive sessions. I'll make a motion. We go into executive session for 10 minutes for an attorney-client privilege regarding a service contract. To be included in the executive session is the Board of Commissioners, Scott Brown, Bill Jeter, and Darren Myers. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. There's no action. And I will make a motion to go into executive session for 20 minutes for the purchase of, potential purchase of real estate. Included would be the Board of Commissioners, Bill Jeter, Brendan McKay, and Darren Myers.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. executive session for 5 minutes to discuss a non-elected personnel issue. I included in the meeting would be the Board of Commissioners, Darren Myers, and Bill Jeter.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
ready for cow eggs.
We're in trouble.
There's no action, and the meeting will adjourn at 6:16.